Good morning. Nothing like the first cup of coffee in the morning. It is my bulletproof coffee, but it's the quiet kind where I just take a little bit of butter and coconut oil and I mix it in. But I don't use the blender because it would wake up the house. So you have to kind of be considerate sometimes. Welcome to another episode of ASMR at 5. Got up a little bit late today. I was up at 5 instead of 4:30, and it's now about 5:20. I'm at that point with the stash now where I'm wiping just about every single sip. Got the oil lamp going, although I really don't need it today because of the sun is already out. I was going to be outside on the back deck, but it seems like the back deck and the soundtrack is magnificent with the birds. It's just out of this world. All the songbirds are out, cardinals are out. It's just really, really neat out there. But there's also traffic too. I'm not far from a very, very busy interstate. I'm 4 miles outside of Philadelphia. Something occurred to me. I was listening to someone yesterday, an interview, a podcast that's also videotaped. Somebody who I respected, someone who I've gained a few techniques from, which I will direct you to her, and I will also teach you those techniques in the future. And I had no idea of how messed up this person's background is and how up and down they were in their lifetime. And of course, the first thing I thought was, wow, it really is never too late. Today I have 5 traction sessions with 5 different people. 2 of them will be on the phone. 3 of them will be via Skype. And we're going to talk about getting from point A to B. So the traction sessions have taken off quite well. And there's people that are going places they've never been, and their businesses are going to the next notch. I print out every testimonial that I have. When it comes to, in the hair world, I have a book of testimonials of people and reviews from various internet review sites of people that have sat in my chair. That's the first thing. Then professionally, I have a whole list of testimonials of people that I've worked with one-to-one for media training. And that's media training just means you're going to be in front of a camera or a microphone. And you want to sound good and you want to look good. Because I did that for many years. It's interesting how random opportunities come in yesterday. And I have no interest in either one of these, but someone offered me a position, a role as a ghost tour guide, where you light the lantern, you give everybody flashlights, and you give them a tour through the quote-unquote haunted district and all that stuff. I thought that was interesting. And they found me on YouTube. And they said, holy cow, this guy has to be... And I would be wearing my typical stuff. They're like, don't change a thing. Wear the cape, wear the top hat, and carry the lantern and the whole bit. So I thought that was interesting how that opportunity came through out of the blue. I didn't ask for it. Second thing was a internet network out of California looking for an anchor. It's a internet protocol TV network, which I understand that. IPTV. I spend more time in front of this thing right here. This is my phone. I'm talking to you on my Galaxy Note 5. I spend more time on this than I do on my computer or in front of a television. And many times I'm casting this to my 55-inch LG flat screen. So I'm watching, obviously, a much larger format. It's a remote position in California, out of California, but I would be representing the East Coast. So today, on the list of things to do, and if you don't have a list, you're lost. You hear me? If you don't have a list, you're lost. How do you know if you get things done? Yesterday, one of my tasks was to get rid of 25% of my stuff, which included about 1/3 of my clothing. The rule was this: non-emotional, 100% detachment. The rule was this: if I didn't wear it in the past year, it goes in the bag, which goes to the thrift store, which is a benefit thrift store which helps homeless people. So I donated about 1/3 of my clothing. I still feel that's not enough. I look at, we're so emotionally attached to things. And as I was sitting in the Van Gogh room last night, one of the things that occurred to me was, why don't I just give away everything? Just give everything away. Literally, just give everything away. Except my bank accounts and my technology. So I can still earn, because I have 3 kids and 2 aging parents. But my goal is to lighten my load by 50% this year. Literally. Half of what I own, I want gone. And I feel like it's the sandbags on a hot air balloon being cut. I feel myself elevating when I get rid of stuff. I love that feeling. There's nothing like it. You know, the thought of getting rid of stuff is worse than the feeling of that you think you're going to have if you give your stuff away or get rid of it or sell it. Craigslist. I'm in a very residential neighborhood, and the last thing I want to do is start up a Harley Sportster at 5 a.m. I don't want to be that guy, and I don't live in the kind of neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Beautiful. If you've seen some of my driving videos, this neighborhood is gorgeous. Houses are well kept. I mean, there's beautiful cars in every driveway. Lawns are perfect, which I hate lawns. Plus, there's a lot of lawn Nazis here. I can't stand lawns. I'd rather grow food than grass, if that makes any sense. I mean, I would rather take the 1/3 of an acre that I have here, honestly, and I'd rather grow catnip on the entire thing, because I can get 3 to 4 crops of catnip. Pick it, dry it, organic, 100% organic, and sell it because I'm a cat fan. And premium organic catnip can get you a great dollar. Just something like that. So I have in my backyard land to grow. There's money here. Yet it's costing me money when Mr. Landscaper comes by and mows the lawn, because my lawn mowing days are over, and the weed whacker and so forth. So what's interesting is every square foot of my property outside, or I should say the backyard, could be producing money instead it's costing me money. And the only thing in my backyard that I enjoy is sitting on my back deck. The rest of it is just green. Getting the bike tuned up today. I gotta have my gears adjusted. They are indexed. I've had many bikes over the years, and my favorite bike, and I just can't get rid of this thing. I don't know if it's probably 10 years old right now. It's the LL Bean Acadia Cruiser. So if you go to Maine and you take a trip with LL Bean, one of these sponsored outings where they bike for 100 miles and they canoe for 100 miles and that kind of thing, this is the bike that they use. It's not hardcore trail bike, mountain bike, knobbies and all that stuff. It's a hybrid. Soft seat. The seat post has shocks, back wheel has shocks, front fork has shocks. You're sitting upright. Your ass is not killing you when you get off the thing. It is a pleasure to ride. It is like riding a cloud. So what's the takeaway from this morning's ASMR at 5? If you don't have a list, you're lost. Your memory is not that good. I don't care who you are, your memory is not that good. Make a list. When you check one thing off the list, all of a sudden you feel a sense of accomplishment. That's the first takeaway. Second thing is this. The thought of losing your stuff is always greater than actually losing your stuff. In other words, the thought of giving those 5 shirts away. You hang on to them for sentimental reasons. There's nothing wrong with sentiment. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's a time and place for it. So what's interesting is overcome the thought. You get hung up with your emotions and you want to move to the next level, because ultimately, you never are surrounded by your stuff and say, this is the life. You get surrounded by people that you love and that love you. Like when my daughter texted me yesterday and said, Daddy, can we spend Father's Day together? My heart melted. I'll give away 100% of my stuff to spend 5 seconds with my daughter. I love it. As kids get older, they don't want to spend time. You lose them. I used to say, I remember when my daughter was 5, she's walking down the hallway with flowers, like those little half steps, like little bridal steps. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I'm getting ready to marry Daddy. And then at about 5.5, 6 years old, when you're helping them with something and there's something on their plate at dinner time and you go to cut it for them, they go, I can do it. Or as my son used to say, it, "My do it." I used to love that. We still say that in my household, "My do it." I get a kick out of that. And you start thinking, oh my God, I'm losing them, because you love serving them. It's really interesting. I can do it. And then that just increases. But here's the interesting thing. I'll wrap it up with this. If you don't have a list, you're lost. Number 2, the thought of getting rid of your stuff is greater than actually getting rid of your stuff. Okay? And number 3, when you surround yourself with people that you love or not, for me, it's not, there's a fine line between being around people that I love and being by myself, because I'm such a solo guy. Where in your life do you say, this is the life? For me, a cup of coffee in the cozy nook. At nighttime, it might be enjoying a pipe. Being surrounded by my books. Being surrounded by being surrounded by computers is not the life, although I need I love the access that I have to the world through my PC, through my mobile device. Think about those things. Do you want to change? It's not that far. Who is the change agent in your life? Who kicks you in the butt, guides you, is non-judgmental? I guarantee you it's not the people you love and that love you. I guarantee it. I guarantee it's not the ones closest to you, because they're too emotionally attached. Time to wrap it up. Each one of those tips is worthy of a teaching. I hope you have a great day today. And make that list. Start making the list. There's no downside to making the list. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.